Yo, what up guys, it's JD Reviews here, back with another action figure review, and I'm really excited to talk about this Marvel Legends Silver Centurion Iron Man. This has been popping up in the Bay Area, Northern California area, for the past 3-4 days. This was just announced about 10 days ago on a Fan First Tuesday. So it's very odd, very obscure thing for Hasbro to be doing. I've seen a lot of early shipments, I've seen things been delayed, so COVID and this whole 2020 year has been just weird, man. It's been weird, but I'm really excited to have this figure in hand. Shout out to my guy Robbie in Pacifica, California. I'll add him in the description below. Make sure you guys give him a follow. He found this at his local Walgreens, I believe, and he sent me a picture, and I asked him what do I got to do to go pick that up tonight. So he made that happen for me. I'm super excited to take a look at this figure. But before we do that, let's take a look at this packaging. All right, guys, so starting right here at the bottom of the packaging, we have this nice classic Iron Man script logo down here. We have a nice display of the figure in this window packaging that we're pretty much used to with Marvel Legends. Then taking a look at the side of the packaging, we have this really cool Iron Man artwork that I'm really enjoying. I think when they put in the cool artwork on the side of these figures, it just makes these more collectible. I don't know. I like the packaging on these. I thought that looked pretty good. And then taking a look at the back of the packaging, we have a nice product shot. And then we have a little read up on the Iron Man Silver Centurion armor. Tony Stark jets back from obscurity in a Silver Centurion armor, a breathtaking technological achievement equipped with a unibeam, force field, and rapid fire pulse bolts. All right, that was a quick look at the packaging. Now let's tear this guy open and see what he's all about. Alright guys, so here's the Marvel Legends Silver Centurion Iron Man Walgreens exclusive outside of the packaging. And right now I gotta say I do enjoy the figure. There is one glaring issue with this figure, and if you guys took a look at MCU Collector 24's review of this guy, you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about, and we're pretty much talking about the head sculpt and the neck peg choice that they went for. A lot of the things that MCU Collector went over, I'm gonna kind of just glance over. You guys already took a good look at that on his page. So right now, before we take a closer look at Iron Man, we're gonna take a closer look at the accessories that he comes packaged with. So here's a closer look at the Silver Centurion Iron Man's accessories that he comes packaged with. And in front of us, we have a pair of interchangeable hands that we are familiar with on, actually, I believe these are new Sculpt right here for Silver Centurion, but we are familiar with it because it has that port, and then we have the peg on there with no hinge, so we can just port some of these blast effects that he comes with that actually come in a translucent kind of yellow plastic, which is, I think, a different mold choice that they had before. I believe the ones that came with the 80th anniversary Iron Man were done in a opaque, non-translucent yellow with a white kind of overspray at the tips. So I enjoy the variation and the change that we have. Actually, I think these will be utilized better when it comes to ACBA or toy photography, because you'll be able to illuminate these with some lighting, which will make it look really cool. So definitely a welcome addition for any Iron Man collection. You can never have too many blast effects, or I'm sure you can interchange these with other figures too. So let's now take a closer look at the Iron Man. All right guys, so taking a closer look at the Iron Man Silver Centurion armor, we have a nice new head sculpt. We have a nice upper body resculpt on this figure. I believe the arms are reused from the 80th anniversary and the 2020 Iron Man. In my opinion, I think they had the technology already set up for War Machine on those arms that also came out in silver. So I think that could have been an easy fix on these and gave us that pinless technology. We have a nice kind of blocky head that the Silver Centurion armor is known for. The only issue that we got is that peg system that we have down here, where it's a double barbell peg and it kind of sits up, but you can get it in a nice pose to where you can kind of hide that and fudge that for some photos or whatever you want to do in your display with this guy. But overall, the head sculpt itself looks pretty nice. I just wish they would have figured out a different system for this head. You know, the head on War Machine just moves so freely and so nicely, and it has a neck on that figure. So maybe they're just trying to experiment. I'm not entirely sure what the team was looking at when they were looking at the Silver Centurion armor, but it is what it is. He's already out, and I'm sure we're not going to get another one anytime soon. So he has the nice shoulder pads that come up, the nice bulkiness. He has the nice kind of triangle tapered off arc reactor here. He has some nice silver paint when it comes to the arms and the legs, and this is actually silver paint as compared to the War Machine that came out in a molded marbleized silver plastic. And just swinging over here to the back, he has the nice little techie sculpt work on the back right here on the upper back, and then there's the back of the legs, and then we come down here to the boots. We have a nice little new sculpt for the shins right here, the shin armor, and I think the lower boots are the same exact sculpt as the Iron Man 80th anniversary in 2020. So overall, I do like the aesthetics on this guy. I do like a silver and red Iron Man for a change. Let's move into articulation on this guy, and then we'll move into some quick comparisons. All right, guys, so before we move into the articulation segment, I just wanted to pop off the head on the Silver Centurion and just show you guys exactly what I'm talking about if you guys haven't looked at any other reviews of this yet. And for this Iron Man, we have a completely new setup. We have this gigantic barbell placed right in the middle of the neck. And I guess this does some justice for some like neck swivel, or if you want to hinge side to side, but I definitely think they could have came up with a better concept for putting the head sculpt on there. But as of right now, this is what we have, so we'll just have to work with it. Let me pop the head back on and get into the regular articulation setup. All right, so for the head articulation with this pop back on, he can look up about that much, and he can look down, so that thing can kind of like swing back and forth like this, and he can kind of look down about that far. But then you got this big old gap on the back. Same goes with the front. So when you tilt it up to the front, you have this gigantic gap down there. So you'll have to really mess around with the where you guys are hiding this gap here. Real quick, I forgot to mention that he does have some white paint in his eye. I'm not sure what type of effect they're going for, if it's like a pupil or like an illuminated head. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it doesn't look terrible. I think it's just something we're not used to. Yeah, so moving down here to the arms, the shoulder pads are connected to the arm, the upper shoulder here. So that swings around freely, it goes 360. You can bring it out about that far, you can bring it back down. He has the upper bicep swivel. And again, I wish he would have had the pinless technology, since we just recently got it with War Machine, and it's really not too far off of the sculpt. But as of right now, with this Iron Man, we have the double jointed elbow, which goes a little bit more than 90 degrees. Let's bring that back down. And then we have the fist hands that can swivel, and it has a hinge going back and forth. And then with the repulsor hands, remember, we just have that swivel, so you won't have that hinge in there. Moving up to the ab crunch, he can dip down about that far. He can go back about this far. He does have the waist rotation that can go 360. He has the T-jointed hips that can go up about that far. Very similar to the 80th anniversary and the War Machine that came out. Then he can go out about this far. So you can kind of do the splits. Then he has the upper thigh swivel, which goes 360, obviously. We got double jointed knees that he can pretty much blast off with no problem. Get that nice knee pose, bent knee. And then moving down here to the feet, we have the hinge that comes up and down, and then we have the ankle rocker that we're used to, so you can get those nice tilted poses. So overall, the articulation is very similar to what we are used to with the Iron Man and War Machine figures that have been coming out recently. So nothing extreme change except for that neck peg again. So it's definitely going to be very difficult to get a Tony Stark head sculpt on this body unless you use kind of a head sculpt that has a built-in neck already, kind of similar to how some of the Hot Toys or some of the Mezco figures have come out with. So if you can get a head sculpt that is like that, I'm pretty sure that you can pop it on this peg. But yeah, overall, I do like this figure. I think it is going to be a great addition to any Iron Man collection if you're an Iron Man collector, or if you just want a cool 80s, 90s style Iron Man to go along with the War Machine that just came out. I think this is going to be a great addition for anybody. So let's move into some quick size comparisons and see what this guy looks like next to some other figures. All right, guys, so for the first size comparison, I wanted to throw in the Marvel Legends Deluxe War Machine that we recently got just as a quick comparison, because this guy is dropping in your local Targets now. So if you're able to scoop this up, you can kind of see what the size is going to be like with this this Iron Man. And War Machine is stacked up just a little bit taller, a couple centimeters taller, but the bulk on the shoulders is very similar on the Iron Man with these. So I think these two look great. They complement each other well with the silvers that they have. Then again, I wish the War Machine did come with the painted silver, as he does have it on his ab section, but not on his arms and thighs. So that's very unfortunate. But overall, I do enjoy these figures standing next to each other. And unfortunately, I don't have my Marvel Legends 80th anniversary Iron Man to do a comparison with, so this is just gonna have to do for now. So let's move into our second size comparison. For a second size comparison, I have the Mafex Miles Morales from the comic book style that they dropped a little while back, just to get a quick comparison of a Mafex Spider-Man next to him. And I think these guys stack up really nicely with each other. I think Spider-Man is an appropriate size with a man who is suited in armor. So this looks pretty awesome together. Let's move into a third size comparison. For a third and final comparison, I have the Marvel Legends Deluxe Age of Apocalypse with the cape removed, as I am waiting to get a third-party cape with some bendy wire in it. But these guys look pretty good together. Obviously that Apocalypse is just towering over Tony in this suit. But I just thought this was a cool comparison, as this Apocalypse is also dropping at this moment. So all these figures minus the Mafex Miles are pretty much popping up everywhere, so you're able to get these. They're pretty fresh. They're 2020 figures, so I thought it was a fair comparison. But overall, these guys look good together. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for my Marvel Legends Silver Centurion Iron Man Walgreens exclusive review. I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy Robbie again for helping me get this figure so I can get this review out to you guys as early as possible. I want to thank you guys for all tuning in. I definitely think this guy is worth a pickup. Definitely a good addition to any Iron Man collection, and it's Silver Centurion. We've been asking for this guy since Toy Biz put out that old figure way back in like 2002 or something like that. So thank you guys for hitting that like button. Please subscribe, share, comment below, and tune in with me on Instagram at jdilla320 if you want to see some cool pictures of this guy. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.